Have you ever sat alone in silence and suddenly felt a gentle presence around you? Maybe you thought of a loved one who has passed away, and in that very moment, you felt as if they were near, watching over you. Or perhaps, in times of deep prayer, you sensed a guiding force, an unseen hand that brought you peace and courage. These moments often leave us wondering, are they real, or just the play of our imagination? This question has touched the hearts of seekers since the beginning of time. Can we really communicate with higher beings and departed souls? Across every culture and faith, there are countless stories of angels, saints, and masters guiding human lives. There are tales of loved ones who passed on, yet returned in dreams to offer comfort or warnings. Some dismiss these as illusions of the mind, while others believe with unshakable faith that such communication is possible. The truth, dear seeker, is far deeper and more beautiful than either denial or blind belief. For what we call life is not limited to the body, and what we call death is not the end. Consciousness does not perish, it only changes form. Just as radio waves exist all around us, invisible until we tune our device to the right frequency, so too do souls and higher beings exist in subtler realms of vibration. And when the heart is pure, when love is strong, when the mind is calm, we begin to sense that connection. Today, let us walk together on this sacred journey of understanding to uncover how and why such communication happens, and how we can approach it with wisdom, devotion, and clarity. Let us begin this exploration with an open heart and a humble spirit. The very first truth we must understand, dear seeker, is the eternal nature of the soul. The soul is not the body, nor the restless mind, nor the fleeting emotions. The body is but a garment, worn for a time and then set aside. The mind is like a mirror that reflects experiences, but it is not the essence of who you are. Your real identity is the soul, ever pure, ever conscious, and ever joyful. This is why the great ones have said, birth and death are but two chapters in the unending story of your soul's journey. When a person dies, it may appear as if they are gone forever. Their voice is silent, their form is no longer visible, and their presence in our daily life is missed deeply. Yet, just as a traveler changes clothes after a long journey, the soul merely changes its outer covering. The body is left behind, but the soul continues forward, carrying its memories, tendencies, and desires into another plane of existence. This continuity explains why the bond of love does not break with death. You still feel the nearness of those you loved, because on the soul level, no separation exists. Think of fragrance. Even after the flower has been plucked, its sweet aroma lingers in the air. In the same way, the essence of a soul, its consciousness, continues to exist even after the body is gone. This is why spiritual masters have always taught us that life is eternal. Once you truly understand this, fear of death begins to dissolve, and the idea of communicating with higher beings or departed loved ones no longer seems impossible. For they are not far away, they live on in the vast and eternal field of spirit. Now let us reflect, dear seeker, on why communication with higher beings or departed souls feels possible in the first place. Have you ever thought of someone intensely, only to suddenly receive a call or message from them? Or perhaps you felt uneasy one night, and later learned that a loved one was going through difficulty at that very moment. These are not coincidences. They are glimpses of a deeper truth. Thought is energy, and energy travels instantly. When you love someone, your connection with them is not bound by distance or by the body. Love creates a bond of vibration that continues even when the physical presence is gone. This is why you may dream of someone who has departed, or feel their nearness in moments of silence. The soul speaks in subtle ways, through feelings, through intuition, through sudden waves of memory that arrive without reason. Science already shows us that invisible forces shape our lives every day. We cannot see radio waves, yet they carry voices across continents. We cannot see Wi-Fi signals, yet they connect us to the vast world of information. In the same way, the soul transmits and receives vibrations beyond what the eyes can see. When your mind is calm, you can pick up these subtle signals more easily. This is why across cultures, people share stories of sensing a loved one's presence after death, or feeling uplifted by the silent blessing of a saint. These experiences are not just imagination, they are real connections taking place in subtler realms of energy. The more love, the more faith, the more clarity you hold in your heart, the easier it becomes to recognize that such communication is part of the natural design of creation. Dear seeker, let us now turn our gaze toward the higher beings, the saints, sages, and angels who live in realms of divine light. These beings are not fantasies or myths created by human imagination. They are souls, just like us, who have advanced far on the journey of evolution. Through lifetimes of discipline, purity, and devotion, they have risen above the ordinary vibrations of desire and ego, and now dwell in higher frequencies of spirit. Imagine a radio. At one frequency, you hear only noise. But when you tune carefully, suddenly a beautiful melody fills the air. Similarly, most of humanity lives tune to the restless noise of the material world, thoughts, worries, and endless desires. Yet, when one purifies the mind through prayer and meditation, the dial of consciousness shifts. Then the soul begins to pick up the subtle transmissions of divine beings who are ever present, silently guiding. The great masters do not intrude on human freedom. They respect the divine law of free will. But when the heart sincerely calls, when the seeker is humble and pure in intention, they respond. Their response may not come in spoken words, but as sudden clarity, an unexpected solution to a long-standing problem, or a deep peace that fills the heart in meditation. Angels and saints act like divine messengers, transmitting light and courage to those who are ready. Just as sunlight shines everywhere but only reflects clearly in clean water, so too do their blessings flow everywhere but are only felt strongly in receptive hearts. When we align our consciousness with love, devotion, and truth, we naturally tune ourselves to these higher frequencies. Then communication with higher beings is not only possible, it becomes a living reality, guiding our path in silence and light. Dear seeker, as we explore this sacred subject, it is important to approach it with wisdom and caution. Many people, driven by grief or curiosity, turn to séances, mediums, or other practices in an attempt to speak directly with the departed or with unseen beings. While the longing of the heart is natural, the danger lies in seeking blindly without understanding the laws of the subtle worlds. The astral plane, where souls dwell after death, is vast and varied. Just as on earth there are kind and wise people as well as those who are selfish and confused, so too in the unseen realms there are souls of many different vibrations. Not all are enlightened. Some are still bound by earthly desires, attachments, or confusion. If one tries to communicate through force, such as with rituals or mediums, there is always a risk of attracting lower influences rather than the guiding light of higher beings. This is why the great masters have always cautioned us, do not chase the voices of the unseen out of desperation or excitement. True communication is not entertainment, and the invisible realms are not playgrounds for idle curiosity. When a person seeks only phenomena, they may become entangled in illusions or even misled by entities who pretend to be something greater than they are. The safe and noble path is to turn within, through prayer, meditation, and purity of intention. When the mind is stilled, when the heart is filled with devotion, then only the higher vibrations can reach you. Communication that is born of love, humility, and sincerity is protected by divine law. But communication that is forced by curiosity can lead one into confusion. Remember, seek the light, not the shadow. Seek God, not merely experiences. Now, dear seeker, let us understand how true communication with higher beings or departed souls really happens. Many imagine it to be like speaking with a friend across the table, expecting clear voices or visible forms. But the reality is far more subtle, sacred, and interior. Real communion does not come through the senses, it comes through the soul. Communication with higher beings is not a matter of forcing contact, but of attunement. Think of a musical instrument. If it is out of tune, the melody is distorted. But when it is tuned with care, it resonates beautifully. In the same way, when your heart and mind are restless, you cannot perceive the higher guidance. But when you quiet the thoughts through meditation, prayer, and inner stillness, the soul becomes like a finely tuned instrument. Then you begin to hear the silent music of the higher worlds. This communication often takes the form of intuition, sudden clarity in your mind, an idea that seems to arrive from nowhere, or a gentle inner voice urging you toward truth. Sometimes it is felt as deep peace, a calm certainty that reassures you even without words. At other times it may come as a dream, a symbol, or an uplifting vision that leaves you with lasting comfort. True communication is always uplifting, never fearful. It brings peace, not anxiety. It strengthens your love for God, not your attachment to the past. It is not about satisfying curiosity, it is about receiving guidance, encouragement, and blessing from realms of light. The masters and higher beings do not wish to control your life, they wish to help you rise to your own divine potential. Remember, dear one, the soul speaks in silence, and the higher worlds answer in stillness. Finally, dear seeker, let us reflect on a question that touches the heart of almost everyone. What about our departed loved ones? When someone close to us leaves this world, the pain of separation can be overwhelming. We long to see them again, to hear their voice, to know that they are safe and at peace. The good news is that love is stronger than death, and the bond of the soul is never broken. When a soul departs from the body, it continues its journey in the astral plane, a realm of light and thought, far subtler than the physical world. If your connection with that soul was rooted in deep love, you may still sense their nearness. Sometimes they may come to you in dreams, not as illusions, but as real visits that bring comfort or guidance. At other times, you may feel their presence in a sudden wave of peace or a memory that fills you with warmth. But remember, true love does not cling. Just as a parent must allow a child to walk their own path, we must lovingly release our departed ones into God's care. When we constantly pull them with grief or desperate desire, it may disturb their onward journey. Instead, pray for them, bless them, and send thoughts of peace and light. Your prayers become wings that help them rise higher in their spiritual evolution. Do not fear that they are lost, for the soul cannot be destroyed. They walk ahead on the same eternal road that you, too, will travel one day. And when the time is right, in this world or another, love will reunite you. Until then, the greatest gift you can give them is to live your own life with courage, devotion, and joy in God. So, dear seeker, as we come to the close of this journey together, let us hold the essence of what we have discovered. The question we began with was simple, yet profound: can we really communicate with higher beings or departed souls? The answer, as you have now seen, is not only yes, but also that such communication is far more sacred than most people imagine. It does not come through force or superstition, but through love, purity, and inner attunement. The language of the soul is silence, and in that silence, the whispers of higher worlds can be heard. If you open your heart in devotion, if you practice prayer and meditation with sincerity, you will find that guidance and comfort flow naturally into your life. At times, it may come as intuition. At times, as deep peace. And sometimes, as the gentle nearness of a loved one or a saintly presence. But always, true communication will uplift you, never disturb you. It will draw you closer to your own highest self and closer to God. Now, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever experienced a moment where you felt the presence of a departed loved one or the guiding hand of something greater? Share your experience in the comments below, for your story may inspire and comfort others walking this same path. And also, let me know what spiritual question or topic you would like me to cover in the next video. Your voice and curiosity help shape this journey we take together. Until then, walk in peace, live in love, and remain open to the eternal guidance of the soul. Remember, you are never alone, for divine presence surrounds you always. Jai Gurudev.